Good morning, everyone. And of course, whoever's tuning in, it may not be morning, so good afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching this. For us, it's a Friday, and we're very happy. So you're going to see us all in wonderful moods as we do this. And welcome to Advising Adventures, another episode. This is Bill Bondurant, the advisor of in counseling director, and my friend and colleague, Nathan Stout. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, Bill.
And we are happy to introduce to you two of our esteemed colleagues over in LAUT, which stands for Liberal Arts and University Transfer. We have Dr. Hatcher, Dean Hatcher, with us this morning, and Miss Bishop, the chair of Math, Science, and Social Science, if I think that's right, all three of them. So good morning, ladies. Happy Friday to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
And so we're on an advising adventure with you. We're going to allow you to be our guides today. We will faithfully follow whichever path you want to take us down today. Again, we just want to introduce folks to our programs and wonderful people that we have here at Craven College. All right, ladies, take us away.
Thanks so much for inviting us, Mr. Bondurant and Mr. Stout. We appreciate the opportunity to talk with our audience about the transferability of programs at Craven Community College. Ms. Bishop and I are in Liberal Arts and University Transfer, and we're the college transfer arm up here at Craven. And so we have 5 degree programs that transfer into a university, most of these seamlessly. And so I'll go ahead and tell you that we're really excited. We've got a couple of additional programs that we'll be marketing in spring about education. And so we're going to hope to come back and talk with you about those at a later date. But for right now, we want to focus on the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Science, and the Associate of Engineering. And so through the comprehensive articulation agreement between North Carolina, the university system, and the community college system, the AA and the AS transfer seamlessly into any one of the 16 public universities. And that's, our UNC System School, East Carolina, A&T, any of those 16 publics that are the big schools that many of our students want to go to. And so there's some caveats with that about the transferability. Students have to have a 2.0 or higher. They have to have a grade of C or higher. They have to complete the majority of the hours here at Craven with us. But it's really a great opportunity and a great deal for our students. Ms. Bishop, is there anything you'd like to add about the what you see as the benefits of the AA and AS or AE?
I think you covered the benefits of both degrees very well, and just the transferability and the 16 public universities here, that we have articulation agreements, in which I'm sure you'll talk more about, and the independent colleges. Those degrees are AA and AS. They're very suitable to get your first 2 years and transfer into any bachelor's of arts or science at those institutions.
Yeah, in North Carolina, we're so lucky because we've got so many opportunities for higher education. There are the 16 public universities we're talking about. There are 58 North Carolina community colleges, which, I'm biased. I think Craven's the best. And then there are 36 independent colleges and universities. So we have a ton of choice. So we're delighted that you're considering Craven and thinking about starting with us. Mr. Bondurant, Nathan?
From the advising perspective, especially with, at the community college, we have traditional, non-traditional students. Let's talk about traditional students for a moment. The one reason why I love the community college options is because at 17, 18, 19 years old, a lot of folks just really don't know yet, what they want to do. And so we see students kind of go off to the 4-year colleges with that cluelessness, if you will, or uncertainty of what they want to do. And I was a high school counselor once upon a time. And when I came here from the high school, I noticed a lot of kids came back to the community college because they're like, you know what, my parents didn't want to spend all that money on me living in another city in dorms, but I really wasn't committed to what I wanted to do. So they wanted me to come home and figure it out. And so staying close to home and banking up some money, saving some money, because it's very affordable at the community college, and really spending a couple years exploring and checking out, different angles, different options, different topics, subjects, careers. And for those reasons, I think we become a wonderful option for those traditional kind of students.
You really hit the nail on the head. I mean, as a longtime employee at the college, and I've taught for years, and Ms. Bishop and I still teach classes because we enjoy it so much. We see a lot of students who come back from university and they're pleasantly surprised, is what I find, because the smaller class sizes, they get to know their faculty, and then the rigor that we've got. I'm delighted to tell you that many of our faculty have taught at universities. They're all credentialed to teach at any university in the state or beyond. We've got everyone teaching a college transferable class has a master's degree at minimum. There are many PhDs and doctorates on staff. So high quality, great content in our courses, and they transfer really well. So Ms. Bishop mentioned the independent colleges. There's the CAA, which is the Comprehensive Articulation Agreement, which is updated regularly between the community colleges and the UNC system. And that guarantees transfer between the public universities and the community colleges. The Independent Comprehensive Articulation Agreement guarantees transfer between the private. So when we talk to you about the transferability, it's all signed, sealed, and documented. We've got that in paper, and it works for our students. And so we're really proud of that.
Can you give us some examples of some public universities and some independent universities, just in case some of the students don't know the difference?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Stout. East Carolina is our neighbor, of course, and I think where many of our students want to go to the public universities. Yeah. Let's not forget NC State. Okay.
Let's not forget Chapel Hill. We have our CSTEP population, and we want to make sure we give Chapel Hill that plug. And we have UNC Wilmington, UNC Charlotte.
We didn't get any more cheerleading, Mr. Bondurant.
I'm out of symbols to throw up there.
I was pretty impressed with that.
And as far as the independent colleges, we have a partnership with Wesleyan, North Carolina Wesleyan, right here on campus, in which our students can get an AA or AS and transfer into one of their programs here.
The privates include Wesleyan and Mount Olive, absolutely. Mount Olive is right here in town. Also, many of the small colleges in Raleigh that students go to are Meredith, Peace, and then really private colleges all over the state. And that ICAA agreement is available online at the NC Community College System Office website. So if you want to read that and look at that full list of transfer colleges, they're there, and it's a great thing to have. And then the courses, the degrees, I think they transfer well out of state too. We don't have those agreements with universities out of state. So it's always to a student's benefit to look at where they want to go and kind of map that out as they're taking community college courses. But the huge benefits that Mr. Bondurant mentioned, the smaller class size, the very beneficial tuition, much more in your favor, and the high quality faculty. Community colleges have a strong benefit.
So talking about transfer universities, whether they're public or private, can you now walk us into some of the transfer programs? What kind of degrees do you see students taking their associate's degree and then transferring? What kind of programs do you see? And maybe you have examples of what that crosswalk is between the community college and the four-year institutions.
Thank you for asking. Through the articulation, we've done some great work, and universities have developed something called baccalaureate degree plans, and we call those BDPs. And what they are is it lays out exactly what courses a student would take at the community college system and how they would transfer into the university. So a student will know how they're going to get credit for those first 2 years of courses. And I've got some of that pulled up on the internet on my computer screen, and I'd like to share that with you all if that's okay.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I would just say that what you're about to show, no, it's not violent or anything like that. You know, where you get those, what you're about to see, you may want to turn your, no, it's not going to be.
A disclaimer.
Right. But yeah, Nathan and I and the other advisors, we love the tools I think that you're going to show us. And it really helps students not only plan their classes and courses and semesters out here, but really makes them think forward. And maybe, you know, we could talk about ACA for a moment too, about how important our ACA courses are, because that's part of, you know, a large chunk in the assignments of ACA 122 is preparing for the transfer process.
Absolutely it is. So all right, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So the website here is northcarolina.edu, and if you go there, you can find the North Carolina Community College transfer page once you follow the breadcrumbs and link down a little bit. And this explains the transfer system. I'm going to scroll down. I don't want to make you dizzy, so I'm not going to do it quickly. It's got all the steps on how you transfer from a community college into one of the 16 UNC colleges. And then here are the CAA baccalaureate degree plans at every one of the 16 public universities. So I'm going to choose East Carolina because as our neighbor, I think a lot of our students choose to go there. Okay. So there's a little chat bot. PD always comes up and wants to help us, which is really nice. So here are the baccalaureate degree plans going from community college with an AA or AS into pretty much any one of the bachelor's degree programs at East Carolina. So what do you all think would be a good one to look at?
Well, in teaching ACA, I get a lot of students to say that they are interested in pursuing a bachelor's in psychology. Perhaps if we could take a look at that.
Okay, so here's psychology, and we can see that we can choose AA or AS. So if a student is pursuing an associate in arts, I would choose this. An associate in science, I would choose this plan. So let me just look at the AA plan because I believe East Carolina offers a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. All right, and here's the degree plan. You see it spells out really nicely what the community college course is over on the left, and then how that transfers into the ECU course equivalency on the right. And so if we look at fall semester, first semester, a student would take English 111, Psych 150, Math 152, which is statistics, a CAA general education course, a foreign language, which at Craven, we have a fabulous Spanish program. And then ACA 122, which Mr. Bondurant mentioned earlier, which is our wonderful orientation course. It teaches students how to get started at college. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So those 15 hours will transfer exactly into the 15 hours that a freshman would take at East Carolina who wants to major in psychology. We see the numbers are different, and without looking that up, I would have to look up and see what is Psych 1000. But this takes away that work from me. It's all spelled out right there. So here's spring semester, second semester for our students. They would take a humanities fine arts course, a science course, a social science course, foreign language level 2, so that would be Spanish 2, and then Health 110. And all of that transfers exactly into what a student would take at East Carolina. And so really these baccalaureate degree plans are laid out so transfer students have the same path as a native student. So there's no hindrance or bias against a transfer student, which is really nice. So you can see what you need to take to go into this program at the university.
Dr. Hess, can you explain a little bit about the UGETC, because that's a common acronym all over this plan.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. The UGETC are Universal General Education Transfer Courses, and then that 2014 articulation agreement that we mentioned between the community college and the universities, they identified 30 courses that are UGETCs. And that means they transfer seamlessly from every community college in North Carolina to every one of the public 16 universities in North Carolina, which is really important because when a student comes to a community college for a transfer degree, they need that assurance that the course is going to transfer. So as you can see, the majority of the courses a student will take would be UGETCs. Mr. Bondurant or Nathan, do you want to talk about that from the advising perspective?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
Absolutely. Especially with the UGETC courses, we have a lot of students. They'll ask that specific question, and it's just good to know that those courses are laid out on the website, so that if students just need to take those specific programs and then maybe transfer later on without finishing the degree, at least they'll know what those classes are.
Yeah, I agree with everything, and just would say I always tell them you get to see a great education when you're here at Craven Community College. So there's another way to explain that.
And you can see that the second year is laid out just as nicely as the first year. And it's really nice that we've got some choice because it spells out UGETC Humanities Fine Arts course. And when you're at Craven, there will be a list of 6 or 8 courses that you can choose from. So it's not so prescriptive that a student has to take one exact course, but that will feed into East Carolina, and those native students have the same options, the same transferability.
And the wonderful thing about those UGETC courses and taking them at Craven is you get a chance to explore a little. If you have been interested in music for a while, take that one music class and it'll qualify to transfer, even if you're getting an associate in a science degree. And so that's the wonderful thing also about being at community college, is getting to explore and having those classes still transfer. And who knows, you may discover something about yourself and may figure out, okay, well, maybe an associate of science is not for me. Maybe I want to pursue that associate in fine arts.
I agree. I think that creativity and exploration in college is part of what it's about, figuring out who you are and what you want to do with your life. And that's so hard for us to know when we come right out of high school, or even if we're a new college student, a returning parent, someone getting out of the military, someone who's been in one career for a while and thinks, I'd like to do something different. I'm just not sure what. So trying different things is such an important key there.
Yeah, my personal example that I share with students is when I was a senior, I needed another elective course to meet the requirements to graduate. And I took an animal biology course. My major was psychology, what we're talking about right now, which took me into a career of counseling and school counseling and things of that nature. But I took this animal biology course, and I swear if it wasn't my senior year and I already had so much invested in that major, I probably would have changed course if I'd have taken that my freshman or sophomore year, because I fell in love with the content. Now, the other fact that was more in associates of science and math, and I'm allergic to math. I got an EpiPen because when math formulas are put up in front of me, I break out into great allergic reactions. But if I would have had an educator like Miss Bishop, I probably would have fallen in love with math and science. So I wish I would have had you, Miss Bishop, when I was back in college.
Well, thank you.
Do you think we want to look at another baccalaureate degree plan real quickly for another major? Is there something else that's popular?
I mean, we have a lot of students that are interested in teaching, whether it's high school history, any of those type of subjects. Could we look at one of those plans?
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. You know, and of course we have that wonderful partnership with East Carolina, and we have Gerald Baldwin right on campus with us, who helps students get started in elementary or middle grades education. And we're really, really excited at the degrees we'll be offering, the teacher preparation degrees that will start in fall. Mr. Stout, I'm not seeing education.
I think I saw one for middle grades education, if we can just scroll down a bit.
Okay, and here is elementary. That's how it's divided. So let me go to middle. Thank you, Ms. Bishop. Oh yeah, lots of good options.
I would love to know the math and science concentration.
Okay. So I would think a student would do better or with an Associate of Science track to go into that. Ms. Bishop, would you like to talk us through this plan?
Sure. If you notice, it's very similar to the other plan, and that's what I like about all of the BDPs. The layout is similar so that students who when they're exploring, they're not confused by looking at different forms. So on the left side, you'll see basic English 111. So most students have to have composition when transferring anywhere. Our Math 171 course, which is our pre-calculus algebra course, that's a basic course for the Associate in Science degree that most students have to take. A UGETSI social science course, and we talked about UGETSI, Health 110, and ACA 122. So that ACA course, that college study skills that everybody would have to take. On the left side, you see the same equivalency. And you will see our Math 171 lines up with ECU's Math 1065. And you have a host of options if you scroll down. And here, if you look, it's a little more prescriptive than the last BDP. Whereas for your natural science UGETSI, it's actually laying out that, okay, maybe you should take that geology 111 and bio 110. And that's why you want to look at these degrees early as a student. Because if you don't start exploring, maybe you would decide, okay, well, I love astronomy 111 and I will take that. Astronomy 111 will transfer into ECU, but if you look at the BDP, if you want to go into middle grades education in math and science, then geology 111 and biology 110 would be your better choices for this degree plan. Mr. Bondurant, Mr. Stout, anything you would like to add about these?
No, that's a really good point, Ms. Bishop, about, when those courses are specifically laid out on these BDPs for these career pathways, to really get that information early so that you know how to lay out your schedule and plan your schedule while you're here at Craven.
again, just to reinforce the notion that this is a map. We talk about taking an adventure or educational journey, and this is a wonderful map to help we as advisors and then the students just stay on the right course as they prepare for the next stage in their journey. So now I'm going to let you know, my friends, that when you're doing this, we have so much fun. We get so engaged in it that time literally flies. We're 25 minutes into this now. I know that you said, hey, let's maybe do it in chunks. But before we wrap this segment up and we're talking about these programs, do you have any kind of anecdotal stories of students that you've managed, that you've advised, that you've mentored? Any stories that you love to tell about students that started here and then went on to do even greater things at institutions of the public or private nature?
Well, one story that comes to mind, and I don't know if I should be calling names, but this student in my first ACA class, I taught this class, and I had a ball in ACA because for me it's stress-free, and it's just teaching students, as much as you can about being successful in college and giving them all of the plans and laying out how do you transfer to an institution of your choice. And so this one student, and I'll just call her Stevie, so I hope she gets a chance to see this. She had her first semester ACA course with me. In that course, I had C-STEP advisors come in and talk to students, C's, PTK. The next thing I know, Stevie was involved in just about everything she could be involved in on campus. She became a C-STEP student, and at the end of her college career with Craven, she brought in, we do goal planning in the class. We do short-term goals, long-term goals, and she brought in her goals. And she had accomplished everything that she said she was going to do in that ACA class. And she was on her way to UNC Chapel Hill, where she is now about to finish her degree. And so she reaches out to me from time to time. And it's just a joy to hear from her, knowing her journey from the day she started at Craven.
I'll chime in with another example. We had a work study student that I worked with several years ago who transferred and went to, actually also went to UNC Chapel Hill and graduated there. And he was so connected to the college and to Craven and to working at the college like he did that he chose to make that a career. And so he is actually in admissions at another in-state university now, has had a couple of admissions jobs, and is working on a master's. I saw our students go on and just get fabulous jobs, and I think we helped shape them at Craven. And Chris was an older student, a returning student who'd had lots of different types of jobs. But I hear from a lot of students when they come to Craven, it feels like that helps them figure out what they want to do. I'm talking with the faculty, and I know our faculty, many of them have long relationships with students that they've taught over the years.
We talk about the elementary, middle school, high school teachers being such critical role models in the lives of children and adolescents, but that really doesn't change with our students. It's really the same thing. As instructors, faculty, advisors, you guys do such a wonderful job of connecting with our students and taking them under wing and just helping them to fly, and to soar into so many opportunities in life. So, yeah, we can talk about, the nuts and bolts and the bricks and the mortar and all that, but it's the stories that bring it all together that really paint the portrait of why this is a great place to be and really set our students up for success. So appreciate those stories a whole lot. Got anything, Mr. Stout?
No, this is a wonderful discussion. I really enjoyed it today.
Thank you. It was good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting us.
Absolutely. And, we'll, after we end this, we'll talk about, segment 2 of LAUT and all the wonderful parts of that. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching, and hope you have a special day, and for us, a special weekend ahead. So good to be with you, my friends.
Thank you.
Bye.